Hey, don't forget, it ain't the first 48 with 60 minutes.
Come with the king, best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like, me feel it. Who you with? You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked into Zone 32.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. We are in the off season. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. His name is BT. We got time to say what's up to people, so do as you feel.
Still not gonna fucking do it.
Nope. That's fine.
People. Most of them.
Fuck around on Giovanni Gallardo.
I have no idea who those people are, but all right.
You know. Exactly
anyway,
they'll show up later in the podcast. Know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay, the gay trolls or whatever. That's fine. Whatever. But,
yeah, they have Latin American baseball player names. I don't know what their names actually are, but so.
Well, there you go. Anyway, it's officially the off season for everybody. The Eagles and the Chiefs played in NOLA. The fake Birds beat the Chiefs 40-22. Kendrick Lamar did a halftime show.
We nailed that fucking game as a podcast. Every single one of us picked the Eagles to win that game 40-22. We picked exactly what was going to happen, down to a fucking credit to us.
We were on the Eagles from the get-go.
Fucking day one. The Eagles were going to win that, and as the week went on, we were like, yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be an ugly game. We even called a 40-6 game, and then Mahomes was going to get some garbage time shit, and people were going to forget how fucking bad he was all game. So, again, just, pat on the back to everybody. We are just a cut above everybody else. Do not go back and listen to the old episodes for our score predictions. Trust me, that's what we did.
Well,
that's what we said.
If only it was another lost episode like you and I did back in 2021, homie. It's all good.
we had many lost episodes back then.
Yes, we did. The fucking glitching on Discord was way too funny.
You think I go off the road was wild time. Wild fucking times. The amount of times that Max is like, you're not giving that to the public. Like, we can't say these things about people.
I think he actually only withheld one episode, but it was a lot of bad stuff said in that one.
It was.
I'll say it now. Lombardi's are shit, but that was the gist of my complaint then. I probably made things up about his face that I said out loud, but here's what it is. When you write an article saying you don't Lamar Jackson with Kodak Black, I feel like you deserve, some asshole like me going after you. Like, it only seems.
Everybody, listen. So we're in a new world.
Yes,
it's been 3 weeks. The First Amendment has been reaffirmed. So you can express opinions for sure. We certainly can't make affirmative statements about someone.
I am thrilled that people have platforms to say stupid things so that I have something to make fun of.
Yeah, of course. Once they say it,
him,
then you can do whatever you want. Yeah,
right.
Of course.
I don't want him to be platformed. I want him to continue to put, and that goes to anybody. Anybody who has dumb opinions, whether you're like a former ballerina that makes up arbitrary quarterback rankings, or your parents funded a Snapchat account that you've turned into a media empire. Like, if you say dumb things, please continue to put them out in public because it gives me something to make fun of. Or, if you're a red fuck on the Canadian border and you want to tweet me 37 million times about Josh Allen being MVP, I welcome you to do it because every once in a while I'm just going to, and it's going to be funny. This is, again, free speech. Trump's America. I'm allowed to make fun of you for you saying dumb things. No more of this kid glove bullshit.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. Oh, and back to the Super Bowl, I realized we've been thinking about football all wrong. Like, as a podcast and as like a society, football is so fucking. It is win the game in the trenches. You need to be able to block the opposing team's pass rush with 5 guys effectively in basically every play, and you need to be able to get pressure with 4 guys. And then the game just becomes so fucking easy. I mean, Jalen Hurts won a fucking. Will and I have him forever. I've not hated him, I just think he sucks. And he looked
okay. Look, I like the guy. I think he's a fucking. I mean, he succeeds. He finds a way, but I think he overcomes his own shortcomings.
He
So
looks like the guy from fucking Criminal Minds, and it bothers me.
yeah.
Shamar
He
Shamar
does.
Johnson. Yeah.
Oh my
and so now
God.
every time I fucking see him, I'm like, oh, I liked Criminal Minds. What happened to that? Like
And
whatever.
VD has finally joined us.
Oh yeah, VD.
I'm gonna send VD the link.
Let's bring
Yeah.
him in. A resident Chiefs fan.
Oh no,
Yeah, might as well.
VD's pushing that he's wasn't a lot.
That's right. He did. He did.
Yeah.
He did post that. I saw that.
I don't want why. I don't know if it's out there. It's not out there. I'm not gonna be the one to say it on this airwave first, but just fucking disgusting if you're by him. Just take your fucking losses. Like it was bad.
VD, check the group chat. I sent you the link. I'd like you to come on and talk about the Chiefs' big win.
The rest of the poor world is going to be getting all those Super Bowl shirts.
Yeah, the three-peat shirts. Fucking,
My favorite tweet I've seen so far
Some
is that
African country.
children in Africa are going to be very confused about the Chiefs' three-peat when their previous two shirts say
Eagles and 49ers.
yeah, Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah.
And listen, I wanted the fucking Chiefs to win.
See,
I wanted the
here's
Chiefs to
thing.
win.
The funniest part about this was the year that I was finally like, it doesn't matter what I want. They're fucking inevitable. They're gonna win. And then this is the fucking year that they just completely shit down their leg.
It was a fucking embarrassment what happened.
Oh.
on Sunday.
Welcome, VD.
Visionless day.
Hold on, let me
There he
take
is.
off my identifiable place uniform real quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right there.
VD works for a famous bear hunting company. He fights bears in the wild very often.
He's at risk of being fired because he's so bad at fighting bears. He just keeps getting fucking murdered by them.
They frequently beat him, but
Not bears. I got little three-legged crippled dogs that bite people. Little cripple boy.
see, this is a fucking ploy by V. He's like,
Look
oh,
at this little cripple dog.
He's like, they're gonna
Oh.
make fun of me if I show cute dogs on it. Fucking
That dog is cute as fuck. I mean,
Yeah, he
Unbelievable.
bites
dog is
people.
very cute.
so VD.
Well, so what? Hit me with your allegations.
When did you? Well, I mean, I know why you're. I'm not going to be the one to say it out loud, but just because I don't know if it's out there. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's out there.
Okay, so I mean, your grandfather was. You're just going to claim allegiance to any team that he coached.
Listen, I think it should count as a half a ring. I don't think that's that crazy
I think the fucking problem is that the scores so bad. Like
Terrible.
it was such a bad showing that I don't
Terrible.
know if you could at halftime like that.
Listen,
like if you said
winning-
before the
Well,
game,
and I think you're a pretty prominent voice in Chiefs Twitter. So I don't know that you can just say, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna play the Dick Vermeil card today.
Okay,
See-
just edit this part out of the podcast. Just edit this part out.
It's live, so
It's live, so
Edit this part out. But I'm not really an Eagles fan. I'll bring down the fourth wall there. That was the worst. That was the worst game I've ever watched. I turned it off at halftime. I disagree
did
with
not
Drew.
watch the halftime show.
Yep. I did not watch that bullshit. I would prefer maybe if we get like, I don't know, some, give me some Zach Bryan at halftime. That's
it
for my-
was a 10 out of 10 moment to have Kendrick Lamar look at the camera and say Drake and make the hand
Yeah,
motion
no,
and
I'm
smile.
trolling. I'm trolling. I'm not a huge Kendrick fan, but I hate Drake, so I therefore am a huge Kendrick fan.
Everybody's saying A minor was like probably the greatest halftime show, like individual halftime show moment.
Yeah, and it's like
the
that
last
with a
one.
halftime show that good, like why even talk about the game? That's kind of my feeling.
Well, and I mean, really, the game was over by halftime anyway. So
Yeah, it's like why talk about the game? Honestly,
yeah, they really should have just called the rest because other than Mahomes' stat pad, there really wasn't much that happened after that. I mean, you let
Hold on. I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's for BT actually. Which time zone are you in, BT?
I am in Eastern.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say because this would have been a landmark moment when
Come here,
we had
All
equal
three time
amounts of Western time zone, but you two still are living in fake time. Basically,
Yeah.
live on fucking
fake time,
Pluto.
not real. Yeah, it was also
Jake,
like-
were you embarrassed that your co-host didn't know about Wonder Chosen and we're slandering that amazing clip?
wasn't slandering.
I've already know that you don't even know nothing about Wonder Shows. You remember one I used to have the background in the background.
That sounds like a show that Hitler
Chauncey
invented,
and them in
just
the
to be
back.
clear.
That's
You
not
could
even-
ask them.
It obviously is not.
As soon as they were slandering that clip, I DM'd them. I said, "That's Wonder Shows," and I bet you your lovely co-host Jake knows all about Wonder Shows.
Oh, yeah,
and I was correct.
the
Yep,
second you
we
said the
spoke
name-
about that in the non-problematic men chat. We did.
Yeah.
Second you said the name, I was like, oh yeah, Jake's brought that up on air before. After talks about some guy like eating children or some shit. But
Yeah.
whatever satanic nonsense he's got going on. Yeah, I don't know. I
The-
mean, that was the worst Super Bowl I've ever watched. I don't think that there could possibly have been a worse game, like from an entertainment standpoint. It was,
No, that Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Was it
Yeah,
the
that one
Rams?
was rough.
That
Yeah,
was
the
a
13-3
terrible
game.
at
Or
least
no,
it was
Bengals. Who was it? Bengals, Rams.
no, because that came down to the last play.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was
Wasn't it
thinking Seahawks
13-10 or
Broncos?
something?
No, that was the Rams that you're thinking of.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really bad.
Jared Goff had
and-
some dumb
yeah.
shit pass to Cook that got broken up.
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
Tom Brady, the Patriots offense didn't score a touchdown.
They
Yeah,
did.
people forget.
Yeah, they did. It
Sonny
was,
Michel. There's a handoff.
Okay, he
Yeah.
didn't throw a touchdown.
I mean, Tom Brady doesn't have a career-defining run in any any playoff game. Nobody ever wants to talk about it, but it's always somebody else scoring. It's always somebody else making the big play. He's
James
just like
White should have been MVP in that Atlanta game, right? Didn't he have 18 catches or something crazy like that?
and he punched in the game-winning
Come on.
touchdown.
Yep.
The previous ones were won by Adam Vinatieri. You had the Malcolm Butler pick. I mean,
Mhm.
against when he played Mahomes the first time when he was on the fucking Bucks, like that was the Bucks defensive line just killed Mahomes. So like
Yeah, we were missing
no.
three. We were missing 3 starts. That game was over before it started.
Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
similar to this game. Turns out your offensive line has to be good.
That's
Yep.
what I was saying before. It's shocking how, we play all these like mental gymnastics online, and it's like, oh, this guy's a big deal, and he's going to be the difference maker. It really comes down to your four guys on defense, and if they can get to the quarterback without sending extra pressure, and if your 5 offensive linemen can figure out how to block without
Yeah,
sending
well,
extra blocker.
It was Brady's kryptonite too. Was when Spags beat him, the Giants beat him. It was just if you can get pressure with 4, it's very, very difficult to lose a
Yeah.
game. Like
Well, and so
consistent pressure.
Well, and the difference I think between like Brady is obvious. Brady wants to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. Mahomes is good when he gets flushed from the pocket, but they were getting to him so quickly that there was he didn't move the pocket, he didn't break the pocket. It was just like they were on him. If he didn't get the ball out, then he was dead every fucking time.
Well, and
Yeah.
Kelsey sucked. I mean, he's not the same guy. He hasn't. Marquise.
There's this narrative on Chiefs Twitter where people are saying they should cut Travis Kelce, and it's like half the Chiefs kingdom is like fuck Travis, like they've turned on him completely, which I find a little bit crazy.
I get the logic behind it is that you're paying for the best
but tight ends are cheap. Tight ends are cheap, and he's not even making the most the Like tight ends are nothing.
His cap hit in 2025 was like 19.8 million. So it's a huge cap hit for the position.
It's the same thing. I want Mark Andrews.
But that's an easy fix. You don't
fix.
Cut him. You don't cut him.
Tight ends are like the best deal
and I don't,
in the
and
NFL.
I don't think he's retired. And this talk of him retiring is crazy. He's not retiring.
He's been very clear he's going to finish his contract. So if we won, he might have retired.
That's
but
what I was thinking is that he was going to you guys were going to win. He was going to get like the game-winning touchdown catch, and then he was going to propose to Taylor Swift and then retire.
Yeah.
But
he's too classy for that kind of proposal, to be honest.
I don't think he
the
would
rest
do
of
that
it,
either, and I don't think she would want that either.
Hell no.
There's a camera on her at all times of her entire life. I think she would. Yeah, no shit, but I think.
Are we gonna have an Abigail discussion? Is this what we're gonna fucking do?
No, I'm just saying. I think that particular moment, I think she'd prefer to be private.
Absolutely not. She has been born, raised, and bred for her entire life to play out in front of a fucking she lives for that shit. Her getting booed, she pretended to be all shocked and offended by it, but she loved every fucking second of it because she knew every single person in that stadium who she was. So
well, everybody knew who she was, but everybody was looking at her. That's the big.
And plus, she knows when it comes to the kingdom, she's not even the main. Everybody knows Brittany, Queen Brit, is the queen, and Tay is the princess. So she needs to know her role a little bit.
Yeah, stop hanging out with that fucking Afro Ice Spice, whatever the fuck her name is. The weird hair.
Ice Spice.
Yeah, get some fucking normal friends. Hang out with your
Go potty
from high school or do something else. Start bringing these weird ass famous people around.
All right, and any last Chiefs questions before I have to get back to my duties here?
Are you embarrassed by the Chiefs still having an extra party?
No, because we did make history. First team to ever make it to 3 Super Bowls, so that's history. Listen,
the Bills made it to 4 in a row, so no, you're not the first team.
for the chance to three-peat, with the chance to three-peat, first to ever make it to 3 with a chance to three-peat.
Yeah, but then you lost. That's the lamest. And then you threw a party. You had fucking one of the washed up Migos there and Cardi B. It was a whole shit show. It was pretty.
There's only
listen.
two Migos left, right?
Listen, the
there's
fellas
only
work
2 Migos.
hard. We don't get like an extended off season like you guys. So, we play our full season pretty much every year.
You got to find your next Hollywood Brown somewhere.
Yeah, you got to find.
Yeah, well, I saw Ramey saying he wants Wood back in purple.
I threatened.
Yeah, that's retarded.
I threatened to murder.
That's
him
fully
in
retarded.
private.
Ramey doesn't like bacon.
Plus, you already have your wide receiver 1. You already got Bateman. So it's like, why do you need Hollywood?
Good guy. You know what I'm a little bit nervous about? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
We traded Orlando Brown to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You think of Ronnie Stanley?
Ronnie Stanley is a free agent. The Chiefs obviously need to upgrade on the offensive line. I don't want the Chiefs to sign him. I feel like it's like their little like cheat code to a Super Bowl.
So, as a Chiefs fan, would you rather sign Ronnie or sign Trey Smith?
Unfortunately, I've been coming to grasp with that Trey Smith is probably going to be gone. Unless they, we have to also pay Nick Bolton, so we have some things to rearrange there. But I think this Super Bowl
and cap room's not something you have a whole lot of. I mean, you can make some restructures and create some, but it's not great.
We had 2 All-Pro interior line offensive linemen this year, and if your tackles suck, it just doesn't matter. So I think you have to prioritize tackles. Veach really fucking choked with signing Juwan Taylor. He's a fucking bum. So we got a lot of work to do on the offensive line, but this is exactly what happened with Tampa, and then we went on a little dynastic run. So Veach will be in the lab. We'll fucking rework. We need to get back to being an explosive offense. This was a good wake-up call.
Will Patrick Mahomes Sr. getting his face beat in by John Rocker affect?
Listen, anybody who hates on Patrick Mahomes Sr. is a clown. Like, he's the coolest guy ever.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving is not a big fan of Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Driving drunk is not that bad if you don't crash. If you crash, go ahead and make all the fun of him you want. But if you don't crash, it's like a big deal.
I want to make it clear. This is not a sanctioned member of the podcast saying that. This is a rogue guest.
What is it with
you got the link from Trippy must have sent it to him. Wasn't me.
What is it with the Chiefs and unsafe driving? You got Rashee Rice, Britt Reed, and now you got.
Listen, you guys had your fair share of car accidents. It wasn't Mark Andrews in a car accident. You had a couple car accidents. You had more car accidents.
At like 10 a.m. We're talking about Rashee Rice basically he like set off a dirty bomb in the middle of the fucking highway in Dallas.
No one even got hurt. Like, why are we making a big deal? No one even got hurt. You never speed.
Okay. What about Britt Reed? Yeah.
Girl. Her life will never be the same because that asshole can't drive sober.
Listen, mistakes happen. He's not even a player. He's not even on the active staff.
He was.
Andy Reid. 3 of his 5 kids were great.
Fucking house arrest.
Let's say
his 5 kids were great.
Let's say you went to 5 Super Bowls and you won 3. Are you considering that a success? I am.
Did you hear
60%?
Quote to Patrick Mahomes saying, 3 kids is cool, but, talk to me when you have 4 or 5? And I'm like...
I did hear that, and I did chuckle.
One of your kids is dead, and one of the other ones in jail, and then you have 3 normal ones. I don't know if that's...
I also will say that overdosing on heroin, I think that's cool. There is nothing wrong with that. Lots of cool people have overdosed on heroin.
This guy's not on the podcast. He hacked the podcast. I don't know how he got on here.
I don't even think VD understands why that could...
Oh, VD just booked it.
Oh, that was great. I don't there's context of that or why that be clipped and used against us in the future, but he was talking about ones who overdosed on heroin. So all right, so it's good to hear from despondent Chiefs correspondent Visionless Dave on how terrible that game was for this. I do wish that people would stop dick riding Howie Roseman after that game, just for I don't know, my own fucking sanity. They won that game because they drafted Jalen Carter, killed somebody in college, and he fell that far. And they had a great offense. It wasn't like that he went and picked up Jahan Dotson, all these other guys that get hyped up as his signings, or Zach Bond.
All right, yeah. So here's the thing. Howie Roseman is willing to overlook these red flags. And we're not, and the difference is because of Ray Rice. He has basically set the scouting department back. They have this wall. They have like a hard line in the sand.
Can I address this, Ray? Right, I'm seeing this all over Twitter. It's fucking driving me up a goddamn wall. Okay, Ray Rice beat the fuck out of his wife in an elevator in February. Okay, it was shortly after the Super Bowl. Knocked her the fuck out in an elevator. Whatever, got arrested for it. So it was known by all of society. Okay, it took the NFL until July to suspend him 2 games. Everybody was fine with that. Ray Rice was coming back to the Ravens in week 3 after that, knowing that he beat up his wife and got arrested. And the only reason that Ray Rice got cut is because that fucking casino went bankrupt and some dickbag security guard sold the video to TMZ. Okay? The Ravens had no issue with his wife. I know that everybody loves this narrative that, you know, they try to act like they're holier than thou. The reason why they got embarrassed situation, the reason why they don't want to be outwardly linked to people with that is because what a fucking PR nightmare it was that they backed their guy who was then on video fucking cold cocking his wife in a fucking elevator. So I hate this nonsense of we only draft choir boys. You know, we don't want people with like filmed incidents out there. The reason why we didn't want Jalen Carter is because there's a video of a fucking mangled car and a dead human, and he was responsible. But if there was no video of it, he could be a Raven. If you committed a crime and it's not on video, I think you're saying.
I agree with you, but to an extent. Here's the problem. The Ravens are held to a different standard than everyone else because Ray Rice was on their team.
If they were held to a different standard, Justin Tucker would be on the fucking show.
But he is the standard. So that Ray Rice thing is the standard. Okay, so Ray Rice happened, right? So for everyone else, the standard is, oh, wow, look at this video. This guy's doing something bad. But for us, it's, well, they used to have Ray Rice, and he's the guy who everyone knows, you know, punches what. So, like, I don't know.
The Bengals drafted.
It's just they have to be the Ravens have to be where everyone else. Okay, they're like, here's our line. You can't do this. The Ravens have to go another like 2 steps further because the scrutiny of a pick for a guy who has any kind of like negative shit in his background, especially domestic violence. And to be very clear, no one on this fucking podcast endorses that shit.
No,
fuck that.
If you're going to be a criminal and you're like committing like drug offenses or something, I don't really fucking care. But if you're punching women, like, go the fuck away.
Yeah, fuck you.
What I'm saying, like, we are putting that scrutiny on the Ravens. Like, the Ravens could just fucking draft a guy with
absolutely, but
and ignore
it's a public reaction thing.
Okay, totally. But they have completely ignored the Tucker. I mean, you got a 2-line statement from fucking, you know, the social media team. Like,
they got Goodell. Goodell's running cover for them.
Right, but I'm saying that if a player goes in the draft with a known issue and the NFL is not saying don't draft this guy, he's a problem, and he's available to draft and he's suspended, they can simply just draft him and ignore the Baltimore band going to come out and ignore the Baltimore Sun story and ignore the multitude, you know, fucking talking heads that are going to say something and just carry on with their days like nothing happened. So I feel like this whole choir boy shit is like overblown. The Ravens don't want to do the PR. It doesn't mean that they can't deal with the PR. It's a choice that they make that they don't want to be put in that situation. They very well could, and I don't think it would be an issue. I mean, especially with social media the way it is, there's going to be a bigger story like next week, you know, that's going to drown that out. Nobody remembers that Jalen Carter killed somebody in college.
The Super Bowl just happened after all that came out. So, like, there's really nobody talking about it. But, I mean, like, there's a lot of Ravens fans who want to see something happen.
Yeah.
They want to see a resolution.
I don't want him on the fucking team.
Right, exactly.
You know.
And like, okay, listen, for people like me and you, I'm just going to, like, be real blunt about this. For people like me and you, I just want a resolution to the situation. And, like, all right, let's, like, and it's not a big, like, as far as the roster is concerned, you can go get a new kicker very easily and very cheaply. It's not like a fucking
dork who kicks the ball. I don't really
not a cost issue, but
no.
For women who are fans of the team are looking for the Ravens to come out and make a very, like, obvious and clear statement, and it hasn't happened. So
no, so that's
a problem to me.
But that's my point, is that they haven't come out and made an obvious statement about it, and nobody's publicly talking about it. You know, I mean, people may harbor those feelings inside. I think you should have told them to get the fuck off your team the second that banner story dropped. I mean, you know, it also matched a whole lot of shit he had heard before. So, like, I was more apt to believe it. So I understand that maybe they want to do some research on their own, but, like, he should no longer be, and he's still fucking here. So, if they want to play this game of we only draft high character guys, like, fuck you. You got Justin Tucker sitting on your fucking roster. Go get me some asshole who, like, I don't know, beat the fuck out of his classmate, something like that. Or, went on a joyride and crash his fucking car. Because you've now thrown morality. You
Right.
can't sit here and tell me that some kid who got a DUI when he was 17 is a horrible person and you can't draft him, but you have this fucking monster who's been abusing women for 6 years on the roster. You've now lost all credit in that fight. So until you cut Justin Tucker, I don't want to hear any of this shit about how you're only going to draft choir boy. Like, it's done. You've killed the image. The Ray Rice shit is dead. You are now willing to sustain the media shitstorm for a fucking serial predator. So fucking go get me somebody who's gonna, might be a little rough around the edges, might be an asshole, but he's gonna get to the quarterback. Go get me I don't know, evil wide receiver who like shoots himself in the leg in the club like Plaxico Burress, but is gonna score fucking touchdowns when it matters. You know what I mean? Like this allure of the being high moral franchise is dead as long as Justin Tucker's on the rosters. Go have at it. Go get me a fucking asshole who's gonna score or contribute to the team.
Agreed.
Or cut Justin Tucker.
And I think the bar that they've set after the Ray Rice thing and like in the wake of all that, we need to adjust that. Like there's a lot of like overcompensation that has happened with staying away from certain players over the years, and that's like that happens at the college level, at the pro level, in every sport. When some controversy happens, you have to stay away from anybody who might, conjure any sort of connection to whatever issue there was. But at this point, it's been 12 years, 13 years since all this happened. So, okay, listen, domestic violence is a non-starter. But we cannot let that. We can't let that dictate how we draft guys who have like minor, minor criminal issues like trespassing or fucking shoplifting, shit like that. Like if they have those little things on their past record, who gives a fuck about that? If a guy's beating up his wife or his girlfriend, by all means, or any woman, no place on the team. If they're sexually abusing or assaulting or misconduct or whatever the fuck, there's a lot of different, there's a spectrum of terms for this. If that is the case, note they don't have a place here. But when we're talking about guys who have questionable morals and it's something stupid, teenage shit, a product of their environment, opportunism, things like that, who gives a fuck, man? These guys need an opportunity. So,
so Tyreek Hill,
I'm tired of every guy with something that they claim is a character issue. Fuck that, man. We got to narrow the scope.
So I got an example. So Tyreek Hill's a fucking asshole. I want no part of Tyreek Hill in Baltimore, right? Okay? Like, that guy has a pattern of beating women and beating children. He can go fuck himself. Jack Jones, the kid who brought the loaded gun on a plane because he's a moron, he's good at football, so sign him. He's a moron.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I want good football players. As long as they don't beat women or commit sexual crimes, then bring them. I don't give a fuck if they rob the CVS.
Can we get this retard off the screen? In all honesty, what does he contribute to the podcast other than creepy sexual? I mean, what are we doing here? We're gonna just let Raul Jimenez, or whatever the fuck his last name was, just run wild in the comments section?
It is really funny. The names that you came up with before the podcast were basically just, it was two different people, but it was this guy's name, Raul Gallardo. You said Raul Mondesi and Giovanni Gallardo.
You don't remember Giovanni Gallardo? He pitched for
I do.
Brewers? Yeah.
No, I remember both. I'm saying I remember both those names. You said them both because they're both baseball players, but they're just his name.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly closeted
hilarious.
Homosexual that's got some deep issues going on in his life, and he feels the need to come on the Zone 32 stream. He only shows up when I YouTube link, so I'm positive retard who follows me. God only knows who.
100%.
God only knows which one it is. Fucking Killer Kowalski, Fez, BA. I don't know, one of you assholes, but get some help. Go see a therapist.
My money's on the Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know. That's there's two of them that were Canadians that I named, so that doesn't narrow it down. But I was gonna say BetterHelp.com too. You'll get 30% off your code.
Hey, listen, if that doesn't work, make sure you call and take it up with a manager.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You say that Jake sent you, and you get another 10% off too. And then if they don't know who Jake is, just direct them to his Twitter, and then they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Before I got fucking sidetracked by being harassed for the 14th week in a row. There's women in sports who complain about the just obscene sexual harassment that they receive. That's all they talk about. I just for 5 seconds on the podcast, I move on with my life. So, maybe take notes, ladies. But this is how you do it. You just fucking shame them until they go
And
away.
he's still doing it in the comments.
Yeah, but he's not on the comments. How is it real? Ha ha ha! Close your eyes. That's what I'm doing. Taking the Tyler the Creator approach.
Sexual harassment panda, homie.
Yeah. Maybe this asshole should spend some time on fucking Misfit Mascot Island or whatever the fuck that was called.
Drew saying,
That's
ha,
right.
ha, ha.
I had to cut out some. I'm not allowed to say.
Ha ha ha! You just said the laugh.
Oh well, laugh. I can't laugh like Tyler the Creator. It's not appropriate.
Ha
For
ha
this,
ha!
ha ha ha. Do we want Deebo Samuel? Thinking just random shit pop into my head here.
I do.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So
Physical, run after the catch.
I think Adam's stealing my tweets and reporting them as fact. If the Ravens would be interested in him. When his name got floated out there, like a guy who requested a trade, he just screams Raven. He's a run blocking guy.
100%. Yeah.
He's a gadget guy. Somebody we've been linked to for about 3 years now because it's always been 49ers need money and get rid of Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and blah 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 blah. And he's got diminished value because he's not been as good the last couple of years. So that just seems like a Raven to me. And I know that pissed people off, but that's how we operate as a franchise.
All right. Hey,
You
BT, put up that comment, the last one. I don't care about this. So my thing about Debo, no, not that one, this one, press coverage. I don't care. Debo, when he's not out of shape, which he was this season, so take that, for what it is. I feel like Debo, if he were to be traded to a team he wanted to be on, with the quarterback he wanted to be with, he would get. Oh boy, I'm not going to tell you what. So
if you get me,
Debo, if you put Debo on the Ravens, I think kind of reinvigorates him. He wants to be there, and I feel like the Ravens, like Vegas believes this. The Ravens are the second most likely team to win the Super Bowl.
If you give me any wide receiver in the NFL not named like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, or CeeDee Lamb, I could tell you some weakness. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad player. Like, you're talking about such a specific thing of not being able to get off press coverage. So line him up in a situation where press coverage is going to come into play. He's a weapon to have. And
he's a weapon. That's the key word. He's a weapon.
The reason I can talk myself into it is that I don't like how Zay Flowers' green game and the end around shit. And, I feel like you take away from things that Zay Flowers can do really well and getting him a lot of touches in those situations. If you give those touches to Debo, you're opening shit up for Zay down the field, and he's going to be, score a lot more touchdowns, be a lot bigger weapon for you. I would look at it like a Waddle and Hill situation in Miami of, Waddle's the guy that does the chain move and the heavy lifting on the short passes, frees Tyreek Hill up to just run down the middle of the field untouched, use his speed. So that's why I would want.
And Debo is a weapon. Like he's a weapon in the short and intermediate game. He will catch passes, and he's a yak guy. So like he will break tackles. He's kind of like a running back. You can line him up in the backfield. You can design plays for him, but behind the line of scrimmage. So I think he fits because he's like a bridge between what Lamar and Derrick Henry do and what Zay and Bateman and the tight ends do. So,
and I just saw red because I saw a fucking comment put up on the screen. Was it suggesting we sign Hollywood Brown?
He said he would take Hollywood Brown over Deebo Samuel.
Brandon, hold on. He said, I would rather go get Cooper Kupp or even Hollywood Brown. But number one, Cooper Kupp, it's a much different situation of like trading and bringing on contract, bringing on cap. And then Hollywood Brown, why the fuck do we need him?
Okay.
Talking about someone who can't get off of press coverage.
He's a smaller, less effective Rashad Bateman at this point.
Who even cares about what Hollywood Brown does just think about it this way. This guy was here for 3 years, okay? All he did was fucking complain about how many targets, asked to be traded. While he was here, he was a bad influence on Lamar. Reason why people like Tony Lombardi were talking about, the Ravens have questions on Lamar's diet, sleeping habits, Lamar showing up on time, you get rid of Hollywood Brown and all those things go away. I'm not a fucking genius, but maybe Hollywood Brown was the fucking problem there. I know he was
by
the
the
problem
way,
there,
by the way, he went to fucking Arizona. Did they go to the playoffs the entire time he was there? No.
Nope.
And
He went to Kansas City. He went to the Super Bowl because he was
Greg
out the
Roman
entire
has
season.
The reason
Then they went to the Super Bowl and they got fucking embarrassed.
The reason why anybody has any positive thoughts about Hollywood Brown because they hated Greg Roman. Greg Roman is the only reason that people have this stupid fucking fantasy of bringing Hollywood Brown back and hitting a good wide receiver here.
And by the way, his most productive season is still here in Baltimore with Greg Roman.
When we force-fed him fucking targets.
Right.
He's selfish. He's afraid of contact. He doesn't make contested catches. He's not good. I want no fucking part of Hollywood. If you want Hollywood Brown here, it's either because you just have this nostalgic and you're like, oh, this guy played for the Ravens, so I fucking want him back, and you don't put any thought into it, or you just truly don't understand how fucking bad he was at football. And I guess disrespecting him, he's a fucking, little pansy midget, but he doesn't play the game like a Raven. He's not a fucking Raven.
No, he's not.
He's a loser. I want no fucking part of him. You wanted to go to fucking Arizona so you go play video games with your midget friend, and that didn't fucking work out. So then you go ring chase with the fucking Chiefs. They've won 2 Super Bowls in a fucking row. Your ass shows up and I don't fucking I don't want that around.
Not just that. They got fucking embarrassed in front of 130 million people.
I mean, he should have been wide receiver 2 on their team. They had to go get, DeAndre Hopkins because Hollywood Brown got hurt. And Rashee Rice is, fucking karma for causing a 40-car pileup where the fuck his issue was. I don't understand the Hollywood Brown shit. It fucking pisses me off. Everybody fucking, acts like he's the greatest thing in the world. Fuck him. I want him nowhere near it. I hate him more than I hate Calais Campbell, a lot. So
this time last year, I was saying I would take Hollywood Brown to replace Bateman in the offense, and now Bateman this past year has proven like his place in the offense is a lot different than
you were
than
also saying that because you didn't like Rashad Bateman as a person, so that's like you were that was like a Hitler versus Stalin situation.
Listen,
there was no way.
I'll ignore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if I like you as a person. If you are putting up touchdowns and yards and catches, I don't give a fuck if that's your job. Before last year, he wasn't doing that. It was terrible. So
so you could focus on him being a fucking annoying human being, selling your fucking $120 and then going high as fuck on Radio Row talking about everybody knows that the refs help out the Chiefs. How'd that fucking work out for you, Rashad? How'd that fucking clown? Shut the fuck up and stay off the fucking camera.
What I'm saying is you could easily search my tweets and find a tweet where I said that I'd take Hollywood over Bateman. That's last year before this season that Bateman just proved, his place, his role is in this offense, which I'm not saying it's indispensable, but it's valuable. We have him on a very, team-friendly arrangement. So
shout out his agent.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy. I'm happy about that sequence of events. But now there's no place for Hollywood Brown on this team. You think that Hollywood Brown fits in on this team with 5'10" Zay Flowers and 6 foot maybe Rashad Bateman?
Where the fuck is Grant?
We need a big, and Stephon Diggs is a non-starter. No, because we have an established wide receiver 1. We have Bateman fits in perfectly as wide receiver 2, but there's really no difference in our offense between wide receiver 2 and 3 if you have a guy at wide receiver 3 who actually can contribute. So go get
Diggs
someone.
Is coming off the ACL tear too, so you don't know when he's going to be back to being
and
himself.
he's gonna want way too much money. Like he could go somewhere and be wide receiver 1 somewhere. It's a stupid gamble for us to pay him the money he is worth. Just market value. That doesn't fit into what we need from a wide receiver.
And he's clearly
Stephon Diggs is not happening. Cooper Kupp's not happening. Debo might happen because it might cost us a 4th or a 5th round pick.
I could see Kupp happening, but Debo is way easier to make happen than Kupp. But I would put, if we're going to make a wide receiver move, those are the 2 guys. Again, Ravens have raved about Cooper Kupp. There's a whole story that came out that, if he fell 3 more picks, they were going to draft him or whatever. And again, the Rams are clearly motivated to move on from him. So maybe that makes the cap situation of it all easier to resolve. I don't really know. But I would not be stunned if we got Cooper Kupp. I don't think it's highly likely, like 25% chance. I would say it's like 50-50 we get Deebo Samuel. Like that just seems like a
No,
Ravens
I
move.
think as far as like a trade's concerned, Deebo is I think of Cooper Kupp and Deebo is way ahead.
Twice as likely, I would say.
Yeah, right. I think I would. I don't know who I'd prefer because it's very different.
Well, I think both guys.
Outcomes.
I think both guys they improve the offense in different ways, but they are guys that in here in different ways. If we want to essentially run it back with the same style of offense we did last year, Cooper Kupp's the better fit because he gives you, what Nelson Aguilar couldn't, or what I don't know, fucking Steve Sims, whoever the fuck you were trotting out there, couldn't. And if you bring in Deebo, you're adding in a good way. So I mean, either way, it's.
I look at it from a little bit of a different angle. If we trade or cut Mark Andrews, because there's a lot of cap savings, it's like $11 million. So we need that money. I feel like Cooper Kupp replaces a lot of what Mark Andrews takes away if we were to trade or cut him. So Cooper Kupp can pick up the slack on a lot of those things because a lot of what Mark Andrews brings to the table, he's not a great blocker, but he is a guy who finds space and gets a lot of kind of junk catches, but valuable to us, like that, they get us 2-3 yards, 4 yards. Yeah, exactly. So Cooper Kupp does fill kind of right into that, even though he's a wide receiver, it's not the same position because, Mark Andrews' role in this offense is essentially a wide receiver.
And a red zone target.
Yeah. So Cooper Kupp, I think if Mark Andrews does get dealt in one way or another, Cooper Kupp is a great, I would say even an upgrade. But Deebo, like you said, what he brings to the offense, assuming he's motivated and in shape and everything else, what he brings to the offense, it just makes the offense more dynamic than it already is, which is like it's the number one offense in football. It's because it is so dynamic, it's so balanced. So bring a guy in who you can line up as a running back or a slot receiver or an outside receiver, that's a huge fucking asset. So I'm not going to complain either way.
I also don't want to come off as like Deebo State. The fucking Deebo's fat now people are retarded.
It's a James Harden thing. Remember when James Harden the day before he got traded, he look at how fat he is. Then he showed up in Philly the next day.
If you take a fucking picture of anybody from the side while they're kind of slumped over and not really sucking it in or having good posture, they're gonna look fucking fat. I hate to break it to you people, but Deebo Samuel is a better athlete than anybody who was called him fat. So except for maybe that Keon guy who Will's afraid to race. But
he's an elite straight line runner. Yeah.
Every once in a while, and that just make me laugh to myself of the shit that we've encountered online. I don't know if we have any. Holy fuck! We haven't recorded since MVP came out.
Yeah, we have. Oh, I know we haven't. You're right. The MVP, fucking Josh Allen.
Okay, so
great moderator we got here. Doesn't even know what is.
I forgot about that. For some reason, I thought we already talked about it, but nope, that was in the chat.
Some stuff we can go from there. I don't particularly care that Josh Allen won the MVP. I'm not upset he won. He is a very good quarterback. He put up very good stats. If you want to say that they were MVP caliber stats, just in a vacuum by themselves, looking at his numbers, I am totally okay with that. What bothers me about him MVP is that 7, 6, I don't remember 9, I don't remember what the fucking number was, switched from Lamar having, being first team all pro to Josh Allen being the MVP based on this value that he brings to the team. So Emmanuel Ocho's criteria, I appreciate that he did it because he was the most transparent of all of them. And I don't agree with.
There we go, Drew tickling his buddy's balls.
I don't agree. Conclusion that he came to, because what he said, MVP to him is who you're playing with and who you're playing against. And so to me, that means it's Patrick Mahomes because he lost one game with a worse supporting cast. So whatever. He spelled out what his fucking criteria was. You had Orlovsky kind of half say the same thing. And then you had that retard from The Ringer say that career arc and media narratives played into it. You had some other dumb fuck, vote Lamar 4th place. What are we doing here? It has completely devalued the MVP award in general by not having after he was voted first team All Pro when that hasn't happened since the 80s. So I'm not mad at Josh Allen MVP. I don't think that he's the worst MVP pick, but you can't sit here and tell me that he had a better season than Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And that's where I'm like,
well,
what the fuck are we doing?
Here's the big problem. Like you said, the first problem is anybody who voted Lamar Jackson first team All Pro as a quarterback, and then voted for the second team All Pro quarterback to be the MVP, like that's
a weird move.
Insanely stupid. The logic behind that, like when they try and explain it,
then they start
to bring in bullshit, like Drew said, of like, oh, what about career arc? Career arc. It's the MVP of the 2024 season.
And then there was another woman. She's from Pittsburgh. She's a fucking Browns writer, and she's like, I called GMs around the league and asked them who I should vote for.
Yeah.
Well, clearly you're not a Ravens, so you write for a division rival. You're from a rival. I'm sure you didn't call Eric DeCosta and ask who says is the MVP. I'm sure you called fucking Mike Tomlin. I don't know, fucking Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston and whoever the fuck else you talk to. They didn't pick Lamar because Lamar kicked their fucking face in. But my problem with if they had voted for, I would have more respect for Acho and Dan Orlovsky specifically if they voted Josh Allen as team All Pro and then voted him as MVP, because then you're being consistent. You are saying that Josh Allen's
they both good. Did though. Those two did. So at least they were consistent.
They voted
Lamar
first team All Pro.
He was him and Orlovsky. They were two of the guys that had Lamar first team.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, so that's that was my issue.
Orlovsky admitted it on camera.
Yeah, Orlovsky said I voted Lamar Jackson team All Pro because he was the best quarterback in football, and then
voted for the second best quarterback to be the MVP?
Because his definition of value is retarded, I guess is what I'm getting to. Is that if you are the best quarterback in the NFL and you are putting up the best statistics at the most important position, you are inherently the most valuable player in the league. You cannot dispute that. It's just, it's faulty logic if you're trying to do anything else. And so what bothered me about Orlovsky, Acho, and that fucking Lindsay something name from The Ringer, specifically,
Lindsey Jones.
They're the three that flipped and spoke publicly about why they. Well, I'd have more respect as a voter if you just stuck with you thought Josh Allen was the better player this year, was more deserving of MVP, because you're now putting bullshit narrative, your own non-quantifiable definition of value to give a guy a MVP award that in reality is not the most valuable in the NFL this year. Honestly, I would have given it. Saquon deserved it more than Josh Allen, I think.
Well, by the logic it was awarded, so Lamar was still right there at the top, but yeah, Saquon, Patrick Mahomes easily could have been MVP.
I mean, traditionally, the last 8 years, it's gone to a quarterback for the number one seed. So,
and quite frankly, Jaden Daniels could be a fucking MVP candidate at that point too. When you talk about, because it's the same players on the Commanders from last year to this year. They get Jaden Daniels, and suddenly they're in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, so if you're going to, make up what you think is value, you can't then turn around and be like, oh, I'm being attacked. You are, because your logic is fucking. And I can't either. I've run into 5 in total that are normal, rational things that are yeah, our guy won. Fuck it, that's why I'm happy. And they just admit that. But then you have that dickwad homeless Carabas is tweeting out stats don't matter anymore. You just spent the last fucking year talking about how stats are the only thing that mattered, and that Lamar stole John 3 MVP that he somehow deserved, but 49 of 50 voters gave it to Lamar, and now we're in a 27-23 race here, and we're raising questions on 5 of the voters, and you're oh, sore losers, and they're mad. It's no, it's fucking, we don't understand why they flipped. It's fucking, they haven't given a legitimate reason. At the end of the day, it's their vote. They can vote for whoever the fuck they want for, but they made the ballots public because, they wanted the discourse. If they didn't want to make their ballots public, I don't think they had to. I don't think that was a rule. I don't know if they've ever done that in the past. The whole fucking thing was fucking stupid. Bills fans in general are inbred retards too.
Well, and at the end of the day, even if it was the most deserved MVP ever, you're celebrating. You just lost the AFC Championship game, and the Chiefs are, again in the Super Bowl. So Bills fans, you're celebrating a fucking MVP award as if you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Get a
Nate
fucking
Geary.
grip.
Nate
Get a
Geary,
fucking grip.
grip. I forgot. I sensitive retard Buffalo radio host Nate Geary and noted war criminal Ben Albright together in their hatred of me. So I'm just bringing people together. But two fucking absolute. Nate Geary came in my DMs. I'm not gonna post them because I'm not Jessica, the YouTuber that we don't like. I don't post DMs to try to spin things out of context, but essentially came to me with like, hey, man, like I get where you're coming from. I was a small account, whole gross nonsense like that. And he's like, I should be able to take it if I dish it out. The morning after they won the MVP, he quoted me immediately and put some gay gif, and then went on fucking radio, complained that I was like me. And I'm like, buddy, your shares are trading for fucking 15.75 cents. Like, that's all I told you, is to get a real fucking job after you came at me for no fucking reason. And you want to cry about it. And then, yeah, Ben Albright calling me a pathological liar is arguably the funniest tweet to ever exist. Like, that guy calling anybody
Ben Albright pushed Middle Easterns to the brink of death in a fucking shipping container in the desert, and then blamed it on orders.
Ben Albright had so many lies Twitter account that he pretended he got hacked by Russia and somebody was holding his account hostage for a Bitcoin, and then deleted all his tweets. Like, he claimed his grandfather fled Normandy after trying to kill Hitler and engineered the moon landing. If you put together like he claimed he was like 25% Jewish and 25% Native American and 25% this, like he's like a 487%, makes up all his like background ancestry DNA test. I mean, he claimed he went to all these fucking schools that just have no record of him being there. Just lie after lie. He grew up in Chicago, Jordan era, but like a couple years older than you would have been, like, 4 or 5 years old. He never even lived in Chicago at that point. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy who just like spent years lying about who he was online. And he's like, oh yeah, Drew's a pathological liar. And he's also friends with a Klan member that we don't like either. So that's where most of that shit comes from, is that they talk, they're best friends.
Who also invents her own reality.
Right. So I just got fucking whacked out morons in the world. I got Bills fans in my men tweet like, hello, 48 accounts calling me, fat, sad loser. I said hello. I'm like, all right, you people are fucking weird. I got some fucking, UFC lightweight loser who has tweeted me 800 times. I finally got him to update his bio and take out a Kobe Bryant quote and a false MMA record. I got so irritated with the amount of tweets that guy sent me that I Googled his name and figured out that he was lying about his UFC record. Like, that's how fucking annoying these people are. I got some fucking, Disney tour guide up my ass that I tweet. I hate Bills fans. I want them nothing but misery. Josh Allen deserves better than you fucking supporting him.
That was my point too, is someone said something to me and I said, listen, Ravens fans don't hate Josh Allen. They just hate Bills fans and Josh Allen, like dick riders.
Right. I hate you, not Josh.
Right. That was exactly my tweet. We hate you, definitely not Josh Allen. Josh Allen's really good. But he's Josh Allen and Josh Allen, if you sat Josh Allen down, you're like, listen, there's no cameras. You can admit it. Josh Allen did not deserve the MVP award over fucking Lamar Jackson. It's insane to say that he did. It's insane. Right. Torrey Smith said he was at the NFLPA Super Bowl party. So there's a lot of ex-players there, and every single player was shocked. Every single player was shocked. The players who know the game, played the game, because that's always that's the clapback to fans is, oh, you never played the game. Torrey Smith told you he was there. The players were shocked that Lamar Jackson didn't win. Now, that being said, I don't give a fuck. He's got two. He has solidified himself. Everybody knows who Lamar Jackson is. So, like, Lamar Jackson could be the MVP every single year. That's the reality. The way he plays the game, he can be the MVP every fucking year. So if you want to make it into a situation where, okay, we don't want to give the same guy the MVP every year, okay, that's fine. Now,
but that's stupid and devalues the award, which is my entire
argument. I agree. But the argument that Bills fans make just gets the legs get cut out.
I think Scott, his last name starts with a K. I don't remember what the fuck it is. Said Josh Allen's VP is that
Kazmar.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Kazmar said his bet. Josh Allen's VP is that Patrick Mahomes and Lamar are not sharing theirs, and I want one. And if Bills fans are capable of accepting that, and that's why he won the MVP, then fine, have at it. But like, it shouldn't have been the MVP. Just bottom line, and it doesn't make sense that he's MVP.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like there's other topics we have not.
We'll save it for next week.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. We need things to discuss in the offseason anyway.
Probably not around.
We have a whole off season to discuss things,
including Grant's future BDSM lists and Grant's future Big Black Cock lists and everything. So
Grant's lucky he's not fucking. He said that we should go sign Elijah Moore, and I was going to drive to his house. After I was just like, I don't want Hollywood Brown fast minutes anymore. He's like, oh, Elijah Moore's available. Fuck you.
His response is similar to mine.
Hey, true. He plays big. He plays big.
Yeah, he plays big. Oh, he's a great route runner. Yeah, he's a fucking midget. I don't want the fucking lollipop there lining up as our fucking wide receiver.
We're getting midgets, damn it. That is what we're doing.
Midgets.
He's the same size.
Don't be an ableist.
No, midget. Get him out.
Same size as Beckett. Same size as Beckett.
Yeah, fucking Beckett. Beckett probably wants Hollywood Brown. Actually, he does.
Yeah, fuck Hollywood Brown. If anything, give me Brandon Cooks, but that's only if I'm getting a short receiver. Otherwise, give me a bigger one. Need something different in that room. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back to discuss this, that, and the other, among some more crazy shit during the off season. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
There's no Grant, so see ya.
Zone 32.